And today I'm going to talk about something that is quite important for each and every one of us in Toastmasters clubs. I'll just share the screen and just let me know if you are able to see the screen. Just give me a thumbs up if you're able to see the screen. So we are going to talk about spreading the love, right? Philip was talking about care. You know, the members are enthused. They feel part of the community when we care. And I'm talking quite similar on the similar lines as Philip was saying, and it is spreading the love, taking care of the members. And in general, we take care of the members by helping them to be part of our community, the Toastmasters family. And then we also help them through the one and only educational system that we have in Toastmasters International, which is called Pathways, right? So, and the most important thing that we have to understand is, we have to maintain our enthusiasm, right? So Norman Vincent Peale says that enthusiasm spells the difference between mediocrity and accomplishment. So let's keep our enthusiasm alive. And I just wanted to inform you about what our current structure is. We have got our enthusiastic, energetic, engaging program quality director, Elizabeth Jordan, with whom we are working in the educational excellence team and the Pathways community of practice team. And if you look at the arrows in this diagram, arrows are going everywhere and it's multi-directional, right? So this is what we want. We want the communication to flow between each and every one of us, because that's the only way we can succeed. If communication flows, there are no barriers to communication. And we are actually a communication organization, communication and leadership organization, as we know. So what we have been doing, we have been meeting fortnightly. So the next one is on 14th of December from 6 p.m. for an hour. And Elizabeth Jordan kindly sends that invitation to each and every member in District 71. What we do is we come together and we discuss. For example, in the last meeting, last Wednesday, we went through the dynamic leadership path and just discussed, went deep into that, took a deep dive and tried to understand what it is helping us with. And that's the email address that we have. And we've got a WhatsApp group. Please come in and join. I think this slides will be shared later. So please click the link, come and join, and let's keep the communication flowing. Let's work as one family, because we are one family, right? Toastmasters family. So now, how I wanted to run our meeting was, first I wanted to get some pulse from our people here, right? So please try and go to, open a browser and go to menti.com and use the code 49288296. Or you can just scan our QR code here and you'll directly go to that. Can you please do that now? Yeah, I'll just give probably 30 seconds or something. If you can try and go to your, so I'll keep the screen open and then I will actually go to the menti.com because you'll get the code there as well. So let me do that. I hope you're still seeing the screen. Are you seeing the Menti screen now? Give me a thumbs up if you're seeing the Menti screen. Thank you. Excellent. We have started getting the answers now. What comes to mind first when we hear about Toastmasters International's Pathways Educational Leadership Curriculum? Beautiful, beautiful. Challenge. Challenge is good, isn't it? It helps us to come out of a comfort zone, which is what everything is about. Whatever we do, like Philip was mentioning very nicely about it. We keep doing the same things and then we just get lost in the woods, right? So when we try and go out of our comfort zone, then we learn more. Excellent. We're getting lots and lots of beautiful answers here. Leadership is coming in strong. Growth. There is fear. No worries, because fear will be there. It's a new program. Sometimes we try to learn things. Sometimes people are not into technology, and Pathways progress is measured through technology. So absolutely. Okay, so this is wonderful, and keep it going, keep it going. Now, I would like to go to the next part, which is nothing like if you look at the presentation that I showed you in here, in terms of our arrows, I think the next most important thing after enthusiasm is interaction, right? So I really like this thought process where, you know, when we churn the milk, we get butter. And what is butter? It is full of cream. What is cream? It is giving us energy. So when each and every one of us comes together and discusses on a particular topic, that is churning. A churning is happening. And that churning is giving us some wonderful things to act on, right? So I really wanted us to please go into the breakout room. I have asked our Zoom masters to get that magic going in terms of creating that wonderful breakout rooms where we will discuss on this particular topic. Please take a note of this topic. What actions do we take as Toastmasters International leaders and members so that we can spread the love, right? And I really mean spread the love. Spread the love is taking care of our members and also help them to adopt pathways, because that is one of the ways of spreading the love, right? So please, and the context here is that we have low pathways adoption rate, as we all know. So let's do this. We'll spend 10 minutes in breakout room, and please nominate one person to be the chair, nominate one person to scribe, and please send in your inputs. And as I said, you know, this churning of ideas and then bringing that live into action is what we want to do, right? So Zoom masters, please, can we get 10 people in each of the breakout rooms, and then after 10 minutes, we'll come back and we'll have a quick discussion. I know time is short, but then if you can scribe and send it, it'll be great. And then we can take action on the basis of all the inputs. Zoom masters, please, can we have a breakout room? Thank you so much. Welcome back, everyone. I hope you had a nice discussion in your breakout rooms. This is what Toastmasters is all about, isn't it? It is about having those ideas and then sharing them, not keeping with ourselves, not keeping those secrets with ourselves, isn't it? So please do, like we had 9 breakout rooms. So I would just ask anyone who wants to volunteer, please volunteer and give us your valuable input in terms of what we can do to spread the love of pathways, right? I think first of all, we have to love pathways. You know, if we want to spread the love, we have to love pathways. So do we love pathways, and how are we going to spread that love? Who wants to go from your breakout room?
Somesh,
anyone?
Room 6.
Please do. Thank you.
Quite a wide discussion in our group. We identified 2 places where contributions could be made in particular. One is having a VPE or a Pathways champion with a slot in the meeting, but there was a big question. How do those people get their skills in the first place? And there's quite a lot of discussion about that. Some of the suggestions were training, some of the suggestions were learning by doing on the job. There's some discussion about spreading the role of being the Pathways expert through the club more, getting people to deputise you week after week. And then the other element that came through was the use of mentors and comprehensive mentor programs, introducing new members to Easy Speak and to Pathways. So this is sort of the key elements. There was a big question mark around how do we upskill these people in the first place? Mentors without that skills base wouldn't be too effective, and VPEs without the skills base wouldn't be too effective. I mean, how many times do you go into a club where the VP has got a Pathways pitch perfectly, or do they just flail around the subject randomly week after week?
Thank you very much, Daniel. Really valuable inputs. And I think as part of the educational excellence that we are doing, we are actually trying to address that clubs should have mentors, because having mentors is what Toastmasters International recommends. But we don't know how many clubs are actually doing that. So, of course, the trainings and the sessions like these, when all the officers get together, these are the places where we try and understand how other clubs are doing and try and bring in those best practices to our own club, which we represent. I see 4 hands raised. So let me go from left to right. Rob Southin, could you please give your input? Thank you so much.
Hi. Yeah, we had a really good discussion, I felt, in our group. And there's a real mix of feeling about the pathways. Some of the suggestions we had were mentors, in particular having sessions where the mentor can offer a one-to-one and actually talk through the software. A suggestion from one of the clubs, apologies, I forget which club, but was really good. They print out a poster of their pathway and add stickers for everybody's progress and track it as a club all the way through, which is quite good. And it can lead to almost a friendly competitive element, almost like a race to the end. There were some people that perhaps have not got the best, or it's not been sold in the best way. It's not necessarily popular with some members, or it doesn't get discussed much. From my own personal experience, quite lucky at my club. It's always been integral, and since I joined, it's always been spoken about. There are always people there to help guide. It's discussed in meetings, and we tend to have a lot of knowledgeable people, and it is a focal point, and it helps guide and gives the structure. And that, when I joined last year, that's how it was solved, and that's how it's used, so that for people that are new to the public speaking world, coming up with speech ideas is not always easy. The structure then being sold as if you follow this, you can see each time your step improvement has been really helpful for me, and I think other new members. So selling it that way has been a real positive.
Thank you very much, Rob. Great ideas. Printing out the path and tracking as a club, great idea. Only kind of thing to watch out there would be that we have to ensure that people go into www.toastmasters.org and actually, the technology element, we just have to ensure that people actually do that. Because as we know, we could do hundreds of speeches, but then unless and until it gets recorded in the system and it is acknowledged by Toastmasters International, it doesn't get credited, which is unfortunate. Like if people are putting in so much work, they should get credited for it as well. So we just need to ensure that we help those people who are technologically challenged as much as possible and help them to try and bring up them. So that's great. Thank you. And next I see Vicky Huffy, and then we have only 8 minutes now. So yeah, if you can be quick, that'll be great, Vicky. Thank you.
Hi, Somesh. I will do. Hi, everybody. We had some good discussion in our room. One of the points that one of our clubs made, which I thought could be quite helpful, is they welcome new members in. So they're talking about pathways before the people even join the club, so it becomes part of the conversation. And then they're inviting, the first week that the club person joins, they're talking about pathways. Second week, they're invited to do a speech, and the speech is called Introduce Yourself. So they don't call it an icebreaker, but essentially it is an icebreaker. So their sort of new members are coming in to give that speech. And then when they sign up to Pathways, they've already realized that they've already done one speech. So that helps to get them on board. And we had another member who was just telling us about their mentorship program before we got cut out. But definitely mentorship seems to be a really strong theme there as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vicky, for being short and concise, short and sweet. Thank you so much. Next, I see Magnus. Please go ahead. Thank you.
Hello. This is very simple. One of the people in our group said that they had a laptop at the club, and people came in and they showed them how simple Pathways was to use. And I think that makes so much sense, because certainly for me, I've been on computers all day at work. The last thing I want to do is to turn on a computer. But if there's one there and it's already on, and somebody's showing me what buttons to press, that just makes it so much easier. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Magnus. And this is extremely important. I think if we can have some section before the meeting or after the meeting, or even in between the meeting, to just help those technologically challenged people one-to-one, I think that'll be really great. Thank you, Magnus, for that idea. Next, I see Barry. Please go ahead, Barry. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Yeah, we had a very productive discussion. Just my apologies for the 2 people I didn't get to before we got kicked out of the breakout room. Quite a set of varied responses. I think probably some of the most interesting responses that came from a few people was, it's not this is a problem that even predates pathways. It's not like there have always been challenges with some individuals trying to get them onto the speaking the program, and a lot of the feedback that came back was to communicate with the member, to make them realize that that maybe they feel, the member might feel they don't have anything relevant to talk about. They can get them to talk about their experiences, to recall your past, something that you did way back in the past can still be relevant, that other people can learn for. People may be a little bit daunted by the tool. They look at it, they see all this technology, all these different challenges. So what some of the speakers were saying was that they run clinics before the meeting, 30 minutes before the meeting, invite people to come in, we'll walk them through. Other programs that a couple of the speakers mentioned was that almost like induction programs that they have. And in my own club, does this as well, where myself, the VP and the VPM, we will sit down with the new member beforehand, and we will give them a walkthrough with a laptop on Pathways, on Easy Speak, and listen to their own questions and concerns. Anything else? One interesting suggestion that one of the members said, for the Pathways ambassadors, maybe if they can have a larger role in D71, and maybe even to give the Pathways ambassador access to the Basecamp manager on the Pathways, that if a club is willing to do that, just for an extra set of assistance and guidance. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Barry. Great ideas. And I think the pathway, the way Toastmasters International have set up their system, I think only the officers get access, and especially the approval, Basecamp manager approval is done by president, secretary, and VP. So yeah, but then these are nice suggestions, and I think we can actually recommend Toastmasters International as well. If it's really going to help the clubs, absolutely, they will consider it. Next, I see Stella, and actually we have only 4 minutes, so thank you, Stella.
Right, I'll be really quick. Morning, everyone. There wasn't quite the love for Pathways that you'd expect in our group. It's a simple idea, but it's not well executed online. Pathways online is confusing. Somebody recommended a PDF download. I hope I've got this right. If not, would they let everybody know? Pathways and Projection for Projects Catalogue. He found it very useful. For more senior members of Toastmasters, online is just a no-go area. It's just too confusing. There needs to be some small bite-sized education on Pathways, snappier ways of illustrating it. I like the idea, somebody just spoke about working in IT, and the last thing they wanted to do at a Toastmasters meeting was to try go figure. I echo that 100%. I work in IT, and one meeting this week on Easy Speak, I left. I couldn't bear it. I think they're really badly organized websites. The Pathways website isn't even run by Toastmasters. It does need a rethink. And somebody was saying physical manuals, although it's not the in thing now to be physically printing manuals off, but for older people, it may be the only way to go.
Thank you very much, Stella. I
okay.
understand and appreciate the concerns, yes. And technologically challenged is a big challenge. And I think that's how we'll spread the love, when we come together and then we help each other, you know, in terms of growing. And now I just want to conclude that there's only 2 minutes left. And are you seeing the screen? Please go back to the Menti. And I just wanted to ask you this question. What's the one action you will take after the session to improve Pathways adoption in our clubs? Can you please, whatever is coming to your mind first, just put this in, and then 2 minutes more. So we have only 2 minutes left for our discussion now. There's one: focus on understanding Pathways, engage. Okay, so we have the Pathways is terrible there. So as I said in the beginning, I think if we don't love something, we cannot spread the love, you know. So let's try and love. let's try, because this is a show that we have in the town, you know, and I think it's just a matter of change of perspective. You know, there is a beautiful saying by Wayne Dyer: when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. It's a beautiful, wonderful saying, and it's really true. Now, so let's try and, someone who has said pathways is terrible, please try and have a look at it in a different way. And then suddenly you will see that, oh, it is different. It's probably not terrible. So yes, thank you so much. And I think, please get them coming. Walk-in clinic, promote members, listen to all feedback, talk to those who use. So yes, thank you so much, everyone, for your active participation. And as I said, it is churning. You know, it is the churning that brings in the nectar. You know, the cream. If we want the cream, we have to churn. And how do we churn? When we talk to each other, when we share the ideas. So please do send in your inputs. And yes, again, just to conclude again, this is the structure that we have at the moment. And Steve has kindly agreed to share these slides. So please join the WhatsApp group and let's keep churning and let's keep making the cream and let's eat the cream as well. Enjoy the cream. So thank you so much for your time today. It's been a great pleasure facilitating this discussion.